Hi friends, welcome back to Calm in the Chaos Homeschool. I thought today I would talk about deschooling. So today's video is about deschooling. What is deschooling and why do we deschool? Basically, what is the purpose of deschooling? So when I first started looking into homeschooling my kids for reals, I did not know what deschooling was. I heard the word deschooling and I had to do my own research on what deschooling was. So deschooling is a period of time where after you've taken your children out of the public school, you don't do anything actively school-like with them. So this would not be a time where you're getting your workbooks out or your curriculum and you're starting to try to do school. It's a time where you would just have your child home with you and you guys would just get used to being home together. And it's just giving your child some time to explore what they might be interested in and seeing what your child would do if they had a lot more free time. Because as homeschoolers, your child will probably have a lot more free and open time than they are used to being in the public school. I know for sure that has been the case for my children. So deschooling would be a time for your child to kind of learn more about themselves, to go and explore what they're interested in. And what you could do during this time is you would be maybe working with your child to figure out what they might enjoy and providing opportunities for them. So deschooling does not mean you can't go out and do field trips or listen to audiobooks or read books together, but it just would be a not so structured time of learning. But your goal is not to be trying to teach your child. Your goal is to let your child explore for themselves how and what they want to learn, and maybe can facilitate that, but without expectations on completing certain things or doing certain things. So it's a time for you to study your child, to learn how they learn, to see what they gravitate towards in this free time. They're going to have so much more free time than they've had probably for a very long time. And it's a time for you to just kind of see what are they interested in. And they might not know what they're interested in. They might not know what to do. So you might have to help a little bit as far as giving them ideas or activities. You're just providing opportunities for them to explore and try to figure out who they are and what they like to do in their free time. And once your child has had that time to be a little bored, to discover a little more about themselves, hopefully that will give you some insight into how they learn, what they enjoy doing, and maybe give you some ideas on how to go about picking your child's curriculum and working with your child's strengths and seeing maybe where their weaknesses are. It's just a period of time to get all that figured out. And the idea is, after a period of deschooling, you and your child will not be expecting school. It's kind of like a forgetting period or a period to decompress from the public school. And so that when you start doing school again, it won't be so regimented or might not look so much like public school. The deschooling period is also a great time for you to start doing your own research, for you to start planning and prepping and learning from other homeschoolers. It's a good time for you to be learning and growing and actually modeling that learning and growing to your child. And so maybe deschooling is a time where you can just be watching YouTube videos or reading books on homeschooling and trying to figure out what your homeschool style is. And I have videos coming up on those things as well, but a deschooling time might be perfect opportunity for you to be doing that and having conversations with your child and thinking and talking about what your homeschool might look like. So a common guideline that I've heard is for every year your child was in school, you want to deschool them for about a month. So if your child is in second grade, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 months of deschooling. I personally would find that very difficult to do, so you have to go with your comfort level, but that is kind of recommended. I've heard that recommended many times, and I've heard a lot of people give the advice to deschool and how important it is. So I mentioned before in my first video on the how to start homeschooling that I actually did not deschool my children. Some of it is we already kind of did our own school in the summer anyways, so once they got out of public school or once March of 2020 2020 hit, then they were home with us and we started kind of schooling them the way we wanted to, though we were still working with the public school. But we started making those changes, so we still were pretty structured. We had our own structure and system there. And then even through the summer, we were doing some school. I felt like we had already started homeschooling, even when my kids were still kind of in public school. And then my kids also have some retention issues, so I didn't want to stop academics. We were seeing so much growth during that time when they were home with us, and I didn't want to lose what we had gained in that March to June when they were kind of homeschooling, but kind of still in the public school system. So I didn't want to lose any of that. So we are more year-round homeschoolers anyways, and so we just kind of did some stuff in the summer. And we did have an official start to the year, and we started mid to late August, but we were doing some school throughout. And we took some weeks off, but that's just kind of what we would normally have done anyways. So when we started school, I would say I had not deschooled my children. So I think you need to think about your own circumstances and what you think that you need to do with your child. If your child has just been pulled out of school in the middle of the school year, I think it probably would not hurt to just let things be for a little while and not try to jump in and start getting all this curriculum and getting started on everything. Like, just let them decompress and just let them get used to being at home. And if they were pulled out of public school in the middle of the year, it's probably something was happening at school to cause that. Probably something that was pretty stressful for your student. So I'm thinking in that situation, you might want to consider deschooling. So I really think that whether or not you want to deschool is a personal choice of your families. You need to decide if that's something that you need or your child needs. Do you need that time to figure out what homeschooling is? Because homeschooling is not like public school. Even if you decide to go the traditional homeschool style with very strict schedules and routines and things like that, even if you're that style, homeschooling is still different. You are still teaching your child or your children. You're going to have one-on-one, or you're going to have one-on with however many children you have. Your kids are all different ages. So it's going to be different being at home teaching your children from school, regardless of how school-like you tried to make it be. So deschooling is just a good time for you to try to figure out how you might want to operate your homeschool and how you want to get started. It's a time you can start planning, like, how do I think my homeschool, our homeschool, should look to make this an enjoyable and pleasant experience for all of us most of the time, and what kind of curriculum, what kind of learning, what kind of schedule, what kind of routine is going to facilitate that learning. That is what I can say about deschooling. As I said, I didn't do it myself, but it is highly recommended, and those are the reasons why you might want to consider it. So I hope that video was helpful. Please let me know if you have any questions. Leave any questions in the comment box below. I will definitely answer to the best of my ability. I want to let you know that I just started a Facebook group, and I just wanted a place for my subscribers and I and other homeschoolers to come together and have a place to talk about homeschooling, to ask questions, to get answers from other homeschoolers that are more experienced than I am. So I just wanted to provide a place for that to happen, and I would just like it to be a place where we can support and encourage each other and build each other up. Just go when we have the hard days, and go when we have our celebrations, and go when we have questions. So if you're interested in joining the Facebook group, just go down below. I have a Find Me section, and it's in the links there. So just go ahead and click on that and come and join us. Also, give me a like if you liked this video, and don't forget to hit the subscribe and the bell notification if you'd like to see the future videos in this series, How to Start Homeschooling. So I hope to see you in my next video. Thanks for coming today. Bye-bye.